For those of you who enjoyed my brief excerpts from volumes 1 through 3 of Mystical Force, I now present myself doing the exact same thing with volume 4. Many are one, one is zero. And for those of you who didn't enjoy them, well then why are you here right now? But I digress, presenting a sneak peek at Mystical Force Volume 4. Location: Headquarters of the Order of the Cross, Vatican City, Holy Roman Empire. Panic filled Sister Rose's heart. Just a short while ago, she had been mysteriously turned into a demon. Her fellow exorcists had been hunting her down, trying to kill her. She managed to flee to Tokajin's house, where the two tried to contact Mystic. Instead of Mystic responding to their thoughts, they got what seemed to be an automated voicemail speaking directly into their minds. Before they could fully understand what was going on, Sister Rose suddenly found herself back at the Order of the Cross. She had no idea how or why. In fact, she couldn't make any sense of what was going on. She had no idea Zero was responsible for all of this. All she knew was that she was back in Mother Superior's office, right back into the fire. "Sister Rose!" a familiar voice hollered. Rose jumped at the sound. She recognized Mother Superior's angry bellow. She nervously turned to face her, wondering how she would explain what happened. What Rose saw upon turning around was something she hadn't anticipated. Instead of finding herself a devil surrounded by nuns and exorcists, she found that all of them were now the same. "You're late again!" Mother Superior shouted. Rose didn't respond. She was too stunned for words. While Mother Superior was still wearing her nun's outfit, her skin was now as red as the devil's. Her headpiece was gone, exposing her hair, but instead of hair, Mother Superior's scalp was on fire. Yet she acted as if this were perfectly normal, as though the flames themselves were her hair. Sister Rose looked at her fellow nuns and exorcists, Sisters Simpson, Valentine, and Rodriguez, as well as Brother Michael. Sister Simpson's skin was also as red as the devil himself. She had 2 red horns protruding from her forehead, a long red tail with a pointed tip sticking out of her lower back, and her brown leather boots were gone, exposing her bare feet, which now looked more like goat hooves. Turning to Sister Valentine, her skin was now light brown and scaly like a lizard. Even her face bore subtle reptilian features, right down to having a narrow snake-like tongue. The whites of her eyes were now solid black. Her eye color was a bright purple, and her eyebrows appeared to be a small band of matching purple flames. Turning to Sister Rodriguez, her skin was now solid white and looked as if it were made of stone. Her once black hair was now bright blue and looked like crystals growing out of her rocky skin. Rose looked at Brother Michael. Physically, he still looked human, with his short black hair, brown eyes, and tan skin. He still wore his uniform, typical of the male members of the order, a black shirt with a white collar, not unlike a priest, underneath a blue jacket with matching blue trousers and polished black boots. Around his neck were 2 necklaces. One was a small silver cross, the other composed of brown rosary beads. The only difference was he appeared to be wearing a gray wizard hat on his head. Rose looked down at his hands. They were glowing green, while a stack of papers, no doubt some official report encased in a similar glowing green energy field, hovered in front of him while he was reading them. It was as though he were using some magic spell to hold them in place. He looked up from his papers to see Sister Rose staring at him with shock. "Is something wrong, Sister Rose?" he asked. Rose just stood there, staring at him. She didn't sense any spiritual powers coming from him. Instead, Brother Michael radiated magical essence. "You're a warlock," she gasped. Brother Michael scowled at her. "Well, duh." She then turned back to Mother Superior and the 3 nuns. Just as with Brother Michael, she didn't sense any spiritual powers coming from them either. They all radiated demonic auras. "You're demons. You're all devils," Rose gasped. They just stared at her as if she were stating the blatantly obvious. "Of course we're devils," Sister Simpson snorted. "What did you expect us to be? Humans?" Rose was dumbstruck. Just a short while ago, She had mysteriously turned into a demon and was being hunted by her fellow Order members, but now they were demons and mages. Yet none of them acted like this was anything unusual. Rose's startling revelation was met with the same scorn and confusion as though she had just stated that the sun rises in the east. "What exactly is our mission here?" Sister Rose asked cautiously. "The same it's always been," Mother Superior responded with annoyance. "To hunt down and destroy humans for tempting us to sin and leading us down the path to ruin." Now Rose was even more confused. Not only had she, along with the other members of the Order, been turned into devils, now humans were the ones that had to be purified. Are all the people of the world devils? All demons or mages? Do we still serve God? Is Satan still our enemy? "Have you gone completely mad, Sister Rose?" Sister Valentine asked. Mother Superior stood up. She clearly had enough of this nonsense. "I don't know what kind of silly games you're playing, Sister Rose, but we don't have time for this foolishness. We've gotten reports of human activity near Teikoku City." She turned to Brother Michael. "Continue your report." "Yes, ma'am." Brother Michael waved his hand. Rose could feel him using his magic powers to activate the monitor on the wall directly behind Mother Superior's desk. "Thanks to my human locator spell, we've detected some humans in a residential area just outside of Teikoku City." Using his newfound magic powers, Brother Michael activated the monitor. On the screen came the image of Anjay, Jamomaru, Zolita, and Zero at their rural hideout. Rose recognized Anjay, Jamomaru, and Zolita right away. Anjay and Zolita's outward appearance didn't look any different, but Jamomaru now looked human. All his demonic features, his wings, claws, and facial markings, were all gone. His feet, once bird-like talons, were now ordinary human feet encased in ordinary human shoes. She looked at the fourth person. She didn't recognize him. He was Caucasian with blue eyes and short brown hair parted to the left, and was wearing charcoal gray trousers and a suit jacket over a light gray dress shirt. Anjay, Jamomaru, and Zolita all appeared to be yelling at this man. "You've turned us into humans!" Anjay, Jamomaru, and Zolita all shouted at Zero. "Boy, there's just no pleasing any of you, is there?" Zero lamented. First he turned Tokajin from a demon into a human. Then he turned Sister Rose into a demon, and now he did the same for all the people of Earth. All humans across the planet were now either a demon or a mage, while everyone with a mystical force, magical essence, spiritual powers, or demonic aura was now an ordinary human. Though neither Anjay nor Zolita's outward appearance changed, both could feel it deep inside. Their magical essence that once burned brightly in their very core was now gone, as though Zero reached inside their very souls and snuffed it out. Zolita tried desperately to cast a spell, any spell, just to prove that she still had some lingering trace of magic within her. Instead, nothing happened. That was when a horrible realization washed over her. Zero had been playing her all along. She thought for sure that she could control Zero with the magic scroll. Now she realized that Zero had been playing her for a fool. He had been lying to her, manipulating her all along. While her overinflated ego couldn't bring itself to accept this fact, she couldn't deny the fact that her magic was now gone, and she was completely powerless. She gazed at Zero with a look of pure dread. Zero simply grinned smugly back at her. "Did you really think a puny little insect like you could control a being like me?" Soon, another dreadful thought entered Zolita's head. Zero must have been lying when he insisted he was imprisoned in the other dimension, just like he was lying when he said he couldn't initially do what they asked because his time there weakened him. So what else has he been lying about? The more Zolita thought about it, the more she realized that she actually knew very little about Zero. She knew that his species were called the One, and lived in another dimension. She knew they existed beyond a physical form. They were more like pure consciousness, limitless in their abilities. Could it be that Zero had been manipulating her from the very beginning? If he were truly godlike, then there was theoretically nothing he couldn't do. Perhaps it was even possible that the scroll she had stolen, the spell on it, The belief that she could use it to send him back if he caused too much trouble was all a game Zero was playing. Did he create the scroll himself? Could he have planted all that information into her mind? Was all of this just some sort of game for Zero's amusement? Was she, like everyone else, just a pawn in whatever game he was playing? You wanted to show humans how demons and mages were superior. Now they can find out for themselves, Zero explained. In fact, the Order of the Cross is doing so right now. With the snap of his fingers, Zero used his powers to switch the image in Zolita's portal to show Mother Superior's office. Anjay, Jamomaru, and Zolita saw Mother Superior, Brother Michael, and the nuns from earlier. Just as they had been turned into humans, the Order members were now all mages and demons. The Order members stood there staring directly at them, as though the portal was a two-way mirror, which, thanks to Zero, it now was. Back in Mother Superior's office, the image from the other side of the portal was displayed on the monitor located directly behind her desk. They watched in surprise as the humans stood there staring directly at them. "Brother Michael, did your spell turn my monitor into a two-way mirror?" Mother Superior asked. "No, Mother Superior," Brother Michael protested. "They shouldn't even know we're watching them." On the other side of the portal, Zolita turned to Zero. "Wait a minute, they can see us?" "Indeed they can," Zero grinned, before turning to address the members of the Orders. "Hello, bozos!" He beamed as he waved. Mother Superior and the others stared in confusion at the monitor. "Are you sure you got the spell right, Brother Michael?" Sister Simpson asked. "I've been practicing magic for years," Brother Michael huffed indignantly. Thanks to Zero's power, Brother Michael now believed that he had been a warlock his entire life. As far as he knew, he always had magic powers. "I know my spells." "Then how come they can see us too?" Sister Simpson demanded. "And hear you too, Sister Simpleton," Zero laughed. Mother Superior's jaw dropped. "How is this possible?" "Oh, that's easy," Zero explained. Suddenly a flash of bright light filled both the screen and the office. When it faded, the image on the monitor was just an empty room, while Zero, Anjay, Jamomaru, and Zolita were now in Mother Superior's office. How did you... Mother Superior stammered. She was too shocked to think what to say. "Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Zero. I'm an omnipotent being from another dimension. I have complete mastery over space, time, matter, and energy. In other words, I'm God." "You're not God," Sister Rose barked. "Blasphemy," Zero replied, faking being insulted. "You're lucky I don't smite you right now." "Is it the suit? Would you expect a god to appear more divine?" Zero turned back into his form of pink goo before reshaping himself into the typical Christian image of God. He now wore long white robes with leather sandals over bare feet and had long white hair with a matching beard. "Is this more to your liking? Or maybe..." Zero then morphed again, going back to his previous look of short brown hair, but this time his outfit resembled that of the Pope. "Presenting His Royal Popeness, Pope Zero the First." Mother Superior and the others gasped in horror. "Too confusing? Perhaps something more uniform." He looked over at Brother Michael. "I do like your tailor." Once again Zero morphed his appearance. Now his outfit matched Brother Michael and all the male members of the Order of the Cross. "Ta-da!" He gestured towards Brother Michael. "Made in God's own image, right?" Watching Zero's antics, Rose put two and two together and figured that he must be responsible for Tokagen turning into a human, then her and everyone else being turned into devils. "Are you the one who turned us all into demons?" "Yes, but I had a very good reason for doing so." "And that is?" "I was bored." Rose felt immense fury building up inside of her. "You turned me into a monster, had my fellow exorcists try and kill me, then turned them into devils while turning demons into humans because you were bored?" "And you've put on quite the entertaining show," Zero laughed. I hope you enjoyed this brief preview of Mystical Force Volume 4, coming soon. don't forget to like, share, and more importantly, buy a copy of the book. Please buy a copy, maybe several. I need the money.